Definition of blasphemy and faith in Sufism. Summary of a lecture. The two words of blasphemy or kufr and faith, iman, have been repeated many times in Rumi's books, Masnavi and Divan-i-Kabir. I provide you with 4 different definitions of both words, blasphemy and faith, so we understand the exact meaning of what Rumi meant when he repeatedly spoke these words in his books. The lexical meaning of the word iman or faith, which is a derivative of the word amana, meaning reaching to a safe place when a person is in a safe place. Also, the lexical meaning of the word kufr or blasphemy, which is a derivative of the word kafara, meaning to cover up, when you cover something and the person who is doing the cover up is called kafir. The second definition is from the religious perspective. By way of example, in Islam, it means reciting the Shahadatain. I bear witness that there is no God but God, and that Muhammad is the prophet of God. In other religions, it is when you believe and have faith in that religion, and you are called faithful. This is called religious faith. The third definition is based on philosophy and scholastic canonical polemics, or kalam, which, as you know, are closely related to each other. Here, faith is defined by conviction, meaning that when you are convinced of something, you are very sure of it. Then philosophy and scholastic canonical polemics, kalam, call it faith. These were the 3 definitions, which are different than Sufi's definition of faith and blasphemy. Our Sufis have a 4th way of defining faith and blasphemy, which is used in Masnavi and other Sufi literatures such as Hafez and Sinai. When you are sure of something, you will reach the stage of conviction. This is a mindful trust in something, meaning that when you open up your eyes and see me sitting in front of you, then you are convinced of this fact. Always in philosophy and in kalam, the opposite of faith is doubt. Sufis disagree with it and say that faith has nothing to do with belief. Sufis remind them that the origin of the word iman or faith comes from being in a safe place. They say that iman or faith is a form of being or stage of being, and there are actions and behaviors in human beings that are called faith. They define blasphemy or kufr the same way, a form in the state of being. Sufis say that in whatever form the state of being is, when you are convinced of something, then it is in the state of mind. You may be convinced of something and then have doubts about it. Then, if your doubt proved to be correct, then your conviction collapses. In Sufism, people can believe in God and be blasphemous or kafir. They can believe in religion and be blasphemous or kafir. They can also be a non-believer, not believing in any God, and be faithful. This is a fine point. The Sufis believe this to be a state of being, simply saying that when a person is facing the truth and is humbled by it, even if it may hurt his ego, but bows to it nevertheless, the Sufis call that person a soft being, a humble being, and that faith flows in his heart. This concept was explained by Imam Muhammad Ghazali some 300 years before Rumi. In his book, Eya-e-Ulam Edin, Imam Muhammad Ghazali says, there were many philosophers and polemic experts who were able to provide thousands of reasons to prove existence of God, but God was not present in them or their lives. And there were ones who did not believe in God, but God existed in their day-to-day lives. Ghazali adds, "When in debates, I was used to destroying my opponents and convince them that my religion, my way of thinking, was better. Sometimes I realized that my opponent was right. He was telling the truth, and yet I, along with many other polemicists, were the ones who were accepting the truth despite the fact that we knew it was the truth. We would cover it up so the truth would be trampled upon, and I would not be, so that I would not be hurt, and my reputation would remain intact, so that others would not say I lost, even at the cost of destroying the truth." Imam Muhammad Ghazali says that realizing that point caused big changes to him. Because of this realization, he rescinded many of his decrees and fatwas. He said that many of the arguments we have is to destroy the other side, not to find the truth. This is not limited to religious or Sufi concepts. Look at your own being. How many times has it happened in your life when you knew you were not in the right, which happens in dealing with children, spouses, friends, colleagues, when we knew we were not right? We knew that the truth laid somewhere else, yet we covered it up, so the truth would be trampled upon and for me to survive. This is a very important point. This is what one must notice and be cognizant of it. Especially the seekers in Sufism must realize that when they covered up the truth, then it is blasphemy or kufr. This is blasphemy or kufr in Sufism, whether or not you believe in God. Regardless of your belief in any Abrahamic or non-Abrahamic religions. You could believe in anything you wanted. When you saw the truth and did not submit to it, that is where the entire being of the person is hard. Sufis call that person blasphemous or kafir.